Welcome back. I feel like I have something to say. I'm just not sure how to find the words. So we'll see how this plays out. My cat just hit the... So one of the big things I've learned over the last year or so from what I called grounding myself is that if you lose touch, I'm talking physical touch with the earth, the physical effect of grounding by touching the earth, if you lose connection of that for a long period of time, weeks, months, whatever, years, there seems to be a buildup of negative energy, like a pool of water that sits stagnant for too long. Nothing can really live in it except for, negative bacteria, diseases, and bacteria. And it seems that emotionally, your moods, how you feel, your well-being is very much tied to touching the earth. And our lives, we live mainly with socks and sneakers, rubber, which is insulating us from the ground, from this connection. So anyways, for the last year or so, I felt as though I had lessened or even lost some of that connection, that deep connection I used to feel, if you want to call it the feeling, awareness of divinity within and around and everywhere, and the oneness, and that magical sense of, how beautiful and miraculous things seem to be. That was lessened and to a large extent felt gone for the majority of that time for me. And I had recently started a few practices again because I recognized that I took a wrong turn. It felt as though maybe I went too far in this, and some decisions I made aren't working out anymore. So yesterday, let me just get to it. Yesterday, I decided to go for a barefoot walk, and I'm training currently to hike what's called the Fundy Trail. Usually a person, from what I've seen, does it in about 3 days or so. So you probably sleep 2 nights and then something like that. So I'm just building up my endurance. And yesterday I walked not that far actually. It was 3 kilometers approximately. Went for a walk down to where the river was closer to the trail, and then I took my shoes off and I decided to put my feet into the riving water, to the river, and I felt immediate release, more than just being barefoot on the ground even. Just a general sense of almost a general sense of not wanting or looking forward to better, or just discontent was kind of present, even if it was just slight. And the minute my feet touched there, it was gone. And by the time I had got my shoes back on and started walking back up to where the trail was, I found my thoughts reflecting to me like how beautiful everything was. That's what my thoughts were saying. Oh, I felt a feeling of loving, of being alive, something like that. It's hard to put into words, but you just really felt it. And the whole walk before that, days, months, weeks, I had felt just not quite as well. So it's a strange thing. And before, when I had my awakening at the beginning, it's funny how I remember now, I would often leave the car. I used to be a delivery driver, and I would just take a moment to touch a tree. I would walk in a trail and smell the air, take my shoes off when I could, even just put my hand on the earth. I did that a lot. I had a deep urge to do it, and I kind of lost touch with that habit. So this video, I guess, is just reminding people about how sometimes in your spiritual journey, you will convince yourself that you don't need to do something anymore. You'll have a certain justification, a way of doing it, and feel maybe you're above it, and you might be. On an emotional level, on the spiritual level, you might be completely there. But this is just a simple reminder that it seems as though if you don't have each aspect taken care of, or at least, if you're not doing a little bit of something for each, like the physical, the spiritual, all of it, then somehow things slightly fall out of balance. It's ever since I started walking, a strange thing, or barefoot. I did it today too. I don't know how long I'll keep doing this for, but I'm running with it, I'm going with it. I'm more aware of the placement of my feet while I'm walking, because the trail has rocks, and sometimes the rocks are sharp. So I'm noticing that my pattern, my gait, we call that, is changing the way I walk. Right, the way I walk without having to think of it, my natural walking movement, your gait. So when your shoes are off, it's completely different, because I'm noticing I'm not placing my weight in the same way I would where I used to walk carelessly, if you want to put it that way, just my weight falling onto the ground and just kind of trucking forward, if you will. Because of the boots, you feel that you can just plow. But when you need to be aware of every single step, because you could get hurt, I found myself really enjoying this as a spiritual practice as well, because I notice it makes me very much more aware in the very moment. You have to be. So, and of course it comes with its own little challenges, because the pain can generate a bit of anxiety too. So, right. We often convince ourselves that certain practices are done and over with. I have no idea where I was going with that. I guess some of them are not actually done and over with. Is that the message? I don't think if there's a message really. I just want to throw things out there, things that help me. And it seems that sometimes I forget how important certain things are to my feelings, my general sense of well-being, because it takes sometimes years, months or years before the negative effects of me not doing that habit is apparent. Because it's difficult sometimes to say this is because of this. You might notice you start to feel more negative daily, or just generally, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. And sometimes you can make that change and it doesn't do anything. So some things work sometimes, some things don't. Or other times, some things work sometimes, some things don't work other times. Wow. If if you're still here in this video, thanks for watching, I guess. Thanks for just sticking around. Very much more of a relaxed vibe in this video. I feel already as though I said what I wanted to say, but I still feel like I want to be here with you and connect on some level. I still feel as though there's so much more I could say, but for some reason it doesn't seem as though I should be or I care to at this point. It's more or less almost as though a block. And I tend to follow certain things to a certain point. I haven't felt the urge to make videos for a while. And it keeps coming back to, there's a general sense of feeling like there's nothing to say. Or maybe I don't know how to say it. Or maybe that's what I'm thinking and that's creating a block. I don't think really going deeper than that is going to really help. I tend to work more on the feeling of energy and just noticing that there is a sensation of pressure there when I talk about this does indicate to me that there is some type of a work that needs to be done there for me to feel I guess well about this too. My goal was to make videos on a weekly basis, and a repeating pattern of mine has been to go very hard into certain habits at the beginning and then fall back down kind of almost just as low as I was high, and kind of I feel like I'm there now, but the urge is still always to go back up. It's funny how these things go, right? We live a certain way, try certain habits, go through certain patterns, and then we feel a certain way, and then we'll make changes, and sometimes we go back up on that curve of feeling more well. And when we're there, we might feel as though everything is good now. We start to revert back to some of our old habits, and then you become less watchful. And I guess that's what this video is about, is that placing your feet on the earth not only helps you ground the physical body and deliver those negative ions through your energy field, your body, but it also helps to create a deeper sense of awareness. I'm just going to be silent for the rest of the video until the ending. If you want to just hang out and listen, feel free to do so. you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.